frame. Might have peed a little bit. This marketplace fine. Alright guys, we're back in the shop today. And we're doing a little bit of tidying work on the old F700 here, because I got a couple customer vehicles coming in. Got some rockers to do on a Dirge, and I got a square body. It's getting the old Earl shod. So we're gonna have to get this sucker ready to go out the door for a minute. So we went ahead. I know we got these brackets made to replace these ones, but for the time being, we're just gonna toss the link bars back on. That way this thing can roll outside without the axle just going all over the place. So once we get it back in, we'll be cutting all that stuff off and replacing it. So we're just temporarying it back. Went ahead and got the etch primered the frame where we welded it all together. Got these brackets, getting them bolted back on. We'll spray some primer on there too. And we'll probably just like white lithium grease that stuff. There's no sense in wasting paint on it just to cut it back off. But we don't want to get it all nasty and rusty while it's sitting outside. So there's that. And then we also, in order to roll it around, we're gonna have to get this mount tidied up as well. So we don't have to try to push it outside through the gravel with the jack underneath the tranny. So that's what we're working on. It's probably gonna be not an exciting video. It's probably gonna be fairly short, but you know, that's how life works sometimes. You don't always get to do the fun stuff. So yeah, we're just kind of cleaning up, getting it ready to go outside. I got my other two 10-to-10 lug adapters. So hopefully next time you guys see us too, we can get these tires mounted on the aluminums, get these ADAP tiers on, and you'll get to see what it looks like with aluminums. Nothing like 22.5 aluminum dually wheels to just almost got me, to really just bring the truck to life. You know, wheels really make a build. So get rid of the poop rusty steely. We'll clean that one up real good, paint it black, and that's going to be our inside dual for the back, because you don't need all aluminums because it gets more expensive. Alright guys, so there it is. We got these link bars back in on this side. You can see they're way more proportionate lengthwise now. Went ahead and just kind of, you know, there will be a lot more adjustment getting done, but this will hold the axle from when we roll it in and out. So I need to go ahead and get the other side cut down to length. And yeah, we're gonna work on that. All right, guys, as you can see, we got all 4 link bars back in. And we actually went ahead and were able to get the fuel tank back in. I was really hoping that was going to work out. Even though we took so much out of the frame and the cross members being changed. But I ended up able, if you look here, these 2 holes, this cross member was originally here. But I took some measurements when I was cutting the frame, and I was able to move the front set of holes originally in the cross member to the back set and drill new back holes. In doing that, it actually lined up the tank perfectly with these 2 cross members again. So we're able to use the factory straps and the factory tank and bolt it right back up in, which I'm really happy that was able to be done, because I didn't want to have to worry about getting another tank or putting a fuel cell in it or changing a bunch of stuff to be able to get this tank back in. So the only thing we'll have to do, because originally it would have had like a hole like that so you could get the filler neck in, but obviously that lines up with our bracket now. So what we're going to do, which it will take fuel a lot slower when I do this probably, but we will take and notch a little U in the frame here, and then we'll come off of this with a 90 and then a 90. Same thing with that to bring our filler neck out. But yeah, so we were able to get the fuel tank in too. Guys, we're back in the garage. As you can tell, I got my hat off, so that means we're in the tight spots. So, last we left you, we got the suspension link bars just mocked back on, just so we can get this thing rolling in and out if we need to, because we're supposed to have a customer vehicle coming in. Not sure when that's happening now, but so we might be jumping back on this next video to just kind of get this finished up, waiting on a couple parts for that. But in the meantime, we took a jump in here and we're working back on this motor mount. Did some stuff while you weren't watching. But we went ahead and got this piece pressed in to our new motor mount. That's our pivot point for the clutch, as you can see right there. Didn't get the mount built yet. We took a little break from that to get these pedals moved. As you can see, the pedals, alrighty then. As you can see, the pedals are really far to the center in this truck for some reason. So it kind of screws us, because that's the brake pedal and that's the clutch. You got all this dead space over here. Well, being that our clutch is inconveniently ginormous, the linkage, and in our way, we're going to have to build a box around this. So our throttle pedal needs to be where the brake pedal is. Brake pedal where the clutch pedal is, and then the clutch pedal is going to ride somewhere right in here. In order to do that, we went ahead and pulled the dash all out. We're going to rewire this thing anyway. I don't like messing with the old tube fuses. They're just not reliable. So we're going to rewire the truck with blade fuses and very make it simple. Not much electronics. But anyway, we got to get this pedal bucket unbolted and try to get all these brackets and everything moved over and get everything bolted back on. As you can see under here, we have plenty of room to move the master cylinder about yonder here. And it actually helps us for getting it out of the way of where the exhaust is going to come out of the turbo anyway. So it just kind of works out for everything. So we're working on that now. We're going to get that bracket all unbolted. And once I get it unbolted, we'll bring you back around. What we're probably going to have to do is these are factory pinch weld up into the dash. So probably what we'll do is we'll cut those flush because we want the support still. Get everything moved over, clean this up. Obviously you can tell I took the dash pad off too, so when we weld in here, we're not melting the dash pad. It's not great, but we're gonna recover it because a new one's like $400 and we don't wanna spend that. So we're gonna get that moved over, welded, and whatnot. So, no time like the present, let's get to it. Alright, so we went ahead and got the bucket out, pedal basket, whatever you want to call it. It's looking like, what do we hold up? Looking like we want to go I know it's down really far, but that's about where we want it to go. The only thing that sucks now is that's in the way of my factory ignition spot, and I really didn't want to mess with any of that stuff because I like the way that all looks. So we're going to try and cut this piece out of it. That way the ignition will still go through here. This was to mount this is only here because it was to mount the steering column. Well, obviously the steering column's not going to go over here now. So our steering column's going to be the same place it was. So we'll have to build a bracket for that. So this is not needed. We might actually be able to reuse this over here, but we'll see. So we're going to cut this out, get this cut out, cut this hoop out, and see how it fits. Struggling and a lot of choice words trying to hold it and get it in place. All by yourself, you thought I'm breathing a little heavy. I'm out of shape, but it actually worked a lot easier than I was expecting. Had to trim off the corner there because the cab rounds off a little bit, but as you can see, it's got room for, you can see my fingies in there. So I should be able to still run the ignition like I wanted. Pedals are where we want them. We're gonna have our go pedal right here. I got it held in by some self-tappers temporarily right now. But we'll get some holes drilled. Get it marked. My bad. Oh man. Sorry, I got hiccups. Get some holes marked and drilled. Obviously, we're going to have to address that. Clean that up a wee bit. And get this mounted. And we're back. We got a bunch done while you weren't watching. I forgot to put it on time lapse.
Idiot!
But, as you can see, we're mounted. Clutch pedal's in a nice location. Right where we wanted it. Yeah, so it really worked out. Got my holes drilled, cut. This is bolted in on the firewall completely. I just got to bolt it here, and then we got to build a little bracket here, but we're probably going to wait on this bolt hole, because we'll probably make a bracket for the steering column as well and tie all that in together. The master cylinder, the rod is 2 inches long to be able to mount to the stud on the pedal. So I'm gonna have to shorten that. Got to put this on still. Got it ground. Getting ready to weld that in. And I found out, which is cool. We're talking about covering those holes from the factory. There's a plate. Guessing it's a stiffener plate that goes on the outside that completely covers that whole area. You can see exactly where it came off because it was blue underneath. We're going to cut a new piece like this, bolt it on, seal on the inside, and we're golden. All those holes are fixed and covered for no weather to get in. So we're going to go ahead and get that upper brace welded in and figure out how we're going to shorten the master cylinder. And we're going to do a little bit of cleaning in here because I got crap everywhere. Finished taking the wiring the rest of the way out of that side. But yeah, make a little bit more tidied area. And then we're going to jump on making this, finishing this mount here. Which you've seen me do that side, so I'll probably just end up showing you the finished product on that. We're still trying to figure out what we're going to do as far as clutch geometry with trying to get a linkage to work off the pedal over here with this rod and work with this style. I believe it's a push or pull. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe pull. Yeah, I think it's pull. So it wants to go whoosh, whoosh, like when you push the clutch down, it'll go whoosh. So we're gonna have to make some type of Z-bar style clutch and whatnot. But I doubt we'll get to that point today. Might be tomorrow, might be in the next video. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right, so we got that all welded in. Don't mind the welds. They're kind of gross.
That's disgusting.
But it'll hold. Still learning my thin metal settings on the new welder. But anyway, that is mounted in. Looks factory. The ignition still fits, just like I had planned. So I'm very happy about that. So now we're going to be working on shortening this rod. Now the easiest way to do that would just be to cut it, take 2 inches out of it, and weld it back together. Well, if I were to do that, the heat would transfer, and good chance that it's going to melt the seals out in this master cylinder. And we don't want to do that. So I went ahead and mic'd it out, and it's actually the exact same diameter as a 3/8 bolt. So what we're going to do is cut our 2 inches out of it, thread both ends, and we'll use a piece of it's a threaded adapter to connect 2 pieces all thread together. So that's the plan there. It'll be nice and strong, and we won't be melting any seals. Guys, so that's gonna go ahead and finish up this video. Ahead and got the master cylinder mounted back in after 90 billion tries and a lot of choice words and a few tools thrown. A lot of holes drilled, a lot of holes filled. But yeah, so the pedals are moved. Everything's mounted in, support brackets in, master cylinders in. The rod's on, the rod's shortened. Didn't get to film the rest of me shortening the master cylinder rod because my phone died. She really sucks up the battery when you're filming. But that's a short one, and we kind of jumped around a little bit. But schedule this week for work was a little goofy, so I wasn't able to make it out here very much. And me and Caitlin are working on remodeling some interior stuff in the house. So I've been spending some time on that too. So we kind of been, you know, letting the dust lay in the garage some. Just taking a little break, doing some house stuff. Adulting. Boring. But you got to do what you got to do. So yeah. So catch up with us next week. We'll be on the F700 again. And hopefully we'll have the suspension dialed up. And maybe we can get the engine running. You never know. Yeah. Just never know what happens. But anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share the channel with your friends. Comment. Anything helps. But we'll see you on the next one. Well, see you later.